Well, what do you say, Kim? It's 5:30 or 4:30. You want to get going?
Let's go ahead and jump in.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in live to this month's Educational Cafe. This month is a really exciting one because we get to welcome our new CEO to Heading Home, Joell Ackerman. Well, kind of welcome back, but we'll kind of get to that. We'll just jump right in. If you have any questions for Joelle, feel free to type them either in the chat here on Zoom or if you're watching on Facebook in the comments there. But I've got a couple right off the top for everybody to kind of, get the main big questions that are on everybody's minds. So we're gonna lead right into it there if you're ready, Joelle.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Great. Well, like I said, this is actually, you worked for Heading Home for a while in the past, actually. So can you talk about what you did in your previous role here and what drew you back? How we reel you back in?
Well, some people may know this and some people may not, but I was the COO at Heading Home for 7 years. So I worked side by side with Dennis Plummer, who was the CEO and the person I replaced, right? So I have a pretty good understanding. If you know anything about Dennis, you know that he is collaborative and very transparent. So this transition has been made so much easier because of that, because I was able to work alongside him literally for 7 years, going through all the different changes and the growth. So I'm very familiar with Heading Home staff, operations, vision. Yeah. So there was a second part to the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's just what brought you back?
I got you. So, well, I mean, I guess the obvious answer is the mission, but just on a broader scope, if you don't mind, I mean, I think statistically there's like 7.8 billion people on planet Earth, give or take a billion, I don't know, if my stats are correct. And of those 7.8 billion, there's probably, statistically, there's less than 5% that work in an industry that has an actual literal impact on their community, right? So for instance, if you don't mind, let me just give you a quick story. For instance, some of you may know Dorothy Otero. She is our housing director, and she just recently housed a young woman with a child. They got an apartment for this woman who was experiencing homelessness. And Dorothy went to go check on her, and the young lady was cleaning and just excited, and she was just so proud of her apartment and the fact that she had gotten this apartment. She got this second chance at life, right? She has this baby. This is her apartment. She was being super clean. And so Dorothy was talking about how as she walked in, she gave Dorothy something to drink and then she would clean it up real quick. And she was just super proud that she had this opportunity and was housed and able to live this, start again. And I know you may be thinking, hearing that, well, that's really great that Dorothy did that. And that's a great story for Dorothy and this young lady. But actually, I don't see it that way. I see it as a great story, not only for them. Every single employee at Heading Home should be proud of this. I am very proud of it, right? Everyone here, the custodian, the accountant, the board of directors, our partner agencies, right? We all had a hand in making this happen. So if we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing, then this young lady is able to benefit from that, be in housing and start a new life. I mean, who wouldn't want to come back to that, Nick? Honestly, like that is the reason why. To me, it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's true for a lot of people here at least. But
absolutely.
You kind of touched on this already a little bit, but so I was curious, what's your overall philosophy moving forward for the organization, and what's your philosophy for leading the organization?
I would say my leadership philosophy. Heading Home has successful programs. It's proven successful programs, and we have a set of core values that kind of guide our way, right? So we have deliberate kindness, unwavering integrity, inclusivity, agility, person-centered. So I feel like my job in the leadership role is just to make sure that the staff, the organization as a whole, has the tools it needs to achieve at this high level of the mission that we have, right? So that we're serving the people in our best ability. So I want to make sure everybody has the tools to do that. And I want to make sure through my leadership that we are always maintaining mission driven. What is our mission? Sticking with the mission and moving in that direction. I also think part of my leadership is maintaining and strengthening, and when necessary, creating strong collaborative partnerships with partner agencies, excuse me. So, we work with Healthcare for the Homeless, Hope Works, New Day, Barrett House. We work with the city. So I just want to make sure that we're tapping into all the sources we can tap into, and that we are collaborating with all the people that we can collaborate. And if there is something that we need to do, I need to go out into the community and find that and make that part of our collaboration. So that's how I see it.
Great. Yeah. That's excellent. Taking over the organization, like you said, we have a lot of successful programs in place that have been running for a long time. And so a very established, history of success with those programs. But where do you see Heading Home going in the future? So what would your vision be for Heading Home moving forward?
So as most people know, Dennis was the CEO of Heading Home, and we experienced a lot of growth. So he planted a lot of seeds. And so my 5-year plan, or my vision of the future, is that we let those seeds grow, and we make sure that we're doing it right? So Heading Home is basically dedicated to ending homelessness in Albuquerque and New Mexico, really, because we have a place in Grant. So the solution to homelessness is housing, full stop, right? So part of my plan is to make sure that we're always moving in that direction. Housing for those that are experiencing homelessness is crucial. And so any plan that deals with people experiencing homelessness should be obviously front and center. So I think the programs that we have that we're working with daily to accomplish these goals, but I also would like to make sure that we're strengthening our donors, volunteers, and community partners. Once again, I know I said this before, but they are crucial to any vision for ending homelessness, right? Because we have some incredible volunteers. We have incredible donors that care about this. We have a city that wants to eradicate homelessness. We have partner agencies that want to work with us to fulfill our mission, right? So the vision, the future, the plan is to hone our skills and continue to do what we do best, which is making homelessness rare, short-lived, and non-recurring.
Great. Let me see what we have here. So I'm looking in the Facebook chat, and Kasha has asked a very interesting question. Well, it's actually 2 questions, actually, I believe. So what is, I guess, your vision for our frontline staff, and how they're in the future for, I guess, shelter monitors, security guards, the people on the ground doing the work to kind of, I guess, encourage and ensure that they have the tools that they need to be able to do their work. I know that it's a challenge, and as Kasha has mentioned in her comment, that there are a lot that they deal with. So do you have any thoughts on how we can support our frontline staff moving forward? I know that's a lot, but I just was curious.
It is, but you know what? Yeah, I love the question. Thank you, Kasha. I love that question, because the truth is, Heading Home the line staff is the backbone of Heading Home. There's no question about it. They are actually dealing with our clients day to day, right? So they are crucial to the mission. There's no question of that. And we have a really fantastic, and I'm not being trite and cliche. Heading Home has a truly dedicated frontline staff that are in it for the love of it. They really are, because it can be a thankless job. So I guess to answer the question, I know that the line staff work hard. I know that they are the backbone of this organization. And so that's where we start, right? We start with knowing that the CEO is very clear on how important those staff are. So we want to make sure that we are always considering morale, because this is not an easy job, right? So we always want to be looking at morale. And of course, we always want to train, keep people trained. And it gives them value, and it gives them the buy-in into an organization. So, Tasha, I would just say in a nutshell, I understand the importance of line staff and how crucial they are to our mission. Without them, we can't do much. So, my tools that I give to them are training, respect, right? Sticking to those core values. That I can promise you. That I can promise you. Thank you.
Let me see here. Well, if anybody watching, if you any of this has piqued any of your interest, feel free to please type your questions into chat. I guess, can you tell us a little bit, Joelle, about how you started to become involved in the service for people experiencing homelessness, kind of where that began?
Well, yeah, let me get a little history lesson on me, kind of who I am. It was a summer night. I'm just kidding. I was born and raised in Southern California, but I spent summers here in Edgewood. Actually, my grandparents own a very small farm out in Edgewood, and they did. So I spent summers out in Edgewood. So I'm very familiar with Albuquerque and the surrounding areas. I'm proud to say that I served 6 years in the United States Navy as a cryptologist, which is really kind of like a swanky term for code and secret keeper and general analysis that I did while I was in the military. I loved my time in the military. A weird fact that you might not want to know, but I'm going to tell you, is that I was stationed on a civilian ship with a military detachment off the coast of Africa. So we used to make maps that the ships go by, right? So I was in Africa, and then I immediately got stationed in Iceland. So extreme weather is not a problem for me. I can handle it. From there, I got my degree in political science and government systems, which is probably boring to most, but I truly enjoy it. I love the idea of why systems work and why they don't work. I left the military and I began working in the corporate world. And so I moved through the ranks and became a junior executive. I did very well for myself. And so it was then that after some, corporate success, I made a conscious decision to move into the nonprofit arena and actually see if I could have an impact on the community. And specifically in New Mexico, because I'm familiar with New Mexico and California. So I wanted to definitely come to New Mexico, and I have not regretted that decision one bit. Ending homelessness and helping those that are experiencing homelessness, I truly care about that issue. So yeah, that's really how I got into it, was going from corporate to saying, I really want to try working within the community and making an impact in my community, which is like most people that work here at Heading Home that I've met. So that's how I did it, Nick. It started on a summer night.
A long time ago.
A long time. It was a long time ago.
Well, I know that, this is not about me, but I know this is true for a lot of staff here because, I speak with them pretty frequently. We love the city. It's beautiful. The culture is incredible. And so you want to help the people.
Right.
That's, I think how a lot of
people
feel.
If you think about it, like I said, there's 7.8 billion people on planet Earth, and less than 5% of that population works in a field where they have an impact. And every single employee at Heading Home has an impact on the community. And that's pretty amazing. So yes, I can see why, even when it's tough, they stick it out and go, yeah, we're going to do this, because this young lady and her daughter got an apartment. They're off the streets and they have a second chance at life. And we all had a part in that, right? That's amazing. That is an amazing feeling. And so you just can't get that anywhere. That's why nonprofit is so amazing, right? Especially what we do.
Great. Well, how about this question? What are you looking forward to most on a day-to-day basis about being back, heading home? And then if you feel like it, what are you dreading?
Okay. What am I most looking forward to? Being back and heading home
On a
daily?
day-to-day. Mhm.
Well, I feel like the old band is back together again, if that makes sense. I mean, the executives here I've worked with before as a COO, and I respect them greatly, and I loved working with them, and they all have different personalities that bring something to the table that are amazing. So every day that I see them and I'm talking to them, it's great to be like the band is back together again, and we're on mission and we're rolling. What do I dread? Well, the traffic down here can get a little funky. If I'm being honest, like the traffic can get, and parking is kind of funky around here. It can get really difficult. But yeah, I'd say hopefully there's not a lot of traffic.
Well, I feel like they didn't do any construction during COVID, so now they're doing it all at once.
Right.
It's
like
there's
every time I drive
streets
down the
closed
street, there's
constantly.
construction, there's cones. It's like every single time, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So I guess since you've been back, or since you've left and come back, a couple different programs have changed. A couple have been added. What program are you the most excited to see evolve since you've been gone and come back? I'm just curious.
I am very familiar with the emergency shelter systems. So my excitement tends to be more towards something that I'm not quite as much of a grasp on because it's newer to me, and that is Jody Jepson's outreach program, Street Connect. I find it fascinating. I think they're dealing with a challenging population, and so they're out on the streets, kind of making it happen. And so I'm kind of excited about digging into that and finding out what that's really all about, how that ties into our housing, and so I'm excited about that program and what effect it's going to have on those that are having the roughest time on the streets.
Yeah, it's a pretty fantastic program, and it's grown a lot recently too. So it's, the sky's really the limit.
When before it was so much smaller, it's grown and it's having more of an impact now. So there's a lot of moving parts that are new to me, but I'm excited. It'll be good.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We're actually getting way more praise for you than questions in the comments on Facebook.
Hey, you need to read those out to me. Like, come on.
I will. I was planning on it. Mariah Lujan jumps in. She said, "Incredible COO. Very happy that you're back in our organization."
Mariah, hello.
Just best decision for heading home. Robert out at the WEX says the WEX excited to have you back.
Robert.
Kasha, she said, who asked the question earlier, she's a monitor out in at the Lexington and Gallup, and she just looks forward to working with you, and she would love for you to visit them again soon.
Yes.
Kirsty Morrison, she says they adore you and they're happy to have the band back together too. Hey.
Who said that? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
That's Kirsten. I think her name is spelled Kersey on her Facebook page.
Okay.
It's Kirsten over at the AOC.
Excellent. Yes.
And so that's exciting. Get your questions in, everybody, if you have any, or just heap praise. We could do that too.
Listen, Nick, let him just heap praise. Let's just go with that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Sandy actually asks in our Zoom chat here, she says she's a SOAR specialist who's been working with Teddy for several years. And she's curious what our plans for the SOAR program are.
So Dorothy Otero is working with SOAR. She very much loves that program. And I happen to know Teddy, and she's incredibly passionate. So we definitely want to work with Teddy. I don't know if I've met you, Sandy. I'm not sure if I have. My apologies. I don't recall. But I do know Teddy, and I know that woman is very passionate. And I'm not sure if she's retired or not. I'm getting off subject, but I am a big-time Teddy fan. I think she is fantastic. Dorothy is spearheading that and making sure that that is a resource that we have, because it's an important resource. So it is definitely going to happen. And Dorothy Otero is spearheading that.
That's great. Well, let's see here.
More praise, please.
More praise. Yes, Teddy fans, says Mariah. So I guess, while people are scouring their brains for questions, do you have anything really that you want to add that maybe we haven't talked about or?
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to take this position. I was proud to work with Dennis, and Dennis has been fantastic in helping me transition even to this day. If I call him, he helps me. I want to thank him for that. I want to thank the board of directors for their trust and their love of the mission. I am truly happy to be here, and I am raring to go. And the pandemic was rough. It was really rough on heading home, and we had to really step up. The staff had to really step up and do a lot, right? So we're kind of winding down from that. And so I am very proud, even though I was not here through the pandemic, I know what the staff went through, and I'm so proud of them. So I'm proud to stand with them now and take us into the future. And, I hope they stand with me on that, and we move forward and we make some things happen, because I'm truly excited about it. So yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here. I really am.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll give everybody a little bit more time to get some questions in. In the meantime, I have to let you all know, same as always, if you want to get involved with Heading Home, the best way to do so is go to our website, headinghome.org, and visit the contact us or get involved. Really, you can volunteer, monetary donations, in-kind donations. I always like to remind people that you can donate cars to One Community Auto and name Heading Home as the beneficiary. There's a lot of ways that you can help with our organization, whether or not that's just sending us a card with no money that just says thank you to a program director, or volunteering for us. And Kim North is the contact for all of our volunteers here. Or you can call us at the office and just ask for Kim, or me. Honestly, you can ask for me, and I'd love to give you any information that you're curious on. Since it looks like our audience is pretty content with your answers, I guess.
All right, that's good. It should always be that way.
Then I guess that we can set everybody free a few minutes early.
Got it.
So I just would like to say, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.
And we'll be back next month. And Kim, can you tell everybody what we'll be talking about next month?
Yeah, next month. Yep. Next month, we're going to dive into the respite care program at the AOC. So exciting time.
And it worked. I got a question. So Kirsten asks, what would you like the community to think of, or, when they hear Heading Home out in the street or see one of our shuttles? Like, what do you want the community, the public, to think when they see Heading Home?
Oh man, that's a great question. Actually, I would really, every time somebody thinks of Heading Home, I want them to think about the success we're having in making homelessness rare, short-lived, and non-recurring. And I want them to think of that is a group of people right there that are doing everything they can to help those experiencing homelessness in our city, so that they're looking at us with pride and going, yes, I know that they're making a difference, and our stats will bear that out. So that's what I want. I want them to go, that is the place to go if you want to get it done. So yeah, good question.
Yeah,
good question.
Well, you know what? I think that we can wrap it there. I would just like to say once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. It really means a lot to us. And we'll see you next month. And I guess now all we can do is go and make it happen, right? So
yes, let's go make it happen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you next time.